Hello and welcome to episode 323 of Stump the Vibe Coder. Today we're going to start off with some news and then get into our project of the day. I am Dr. Voss and I have 30 years of programming experience, though I love to hand off my programming to AI agents these days and let them do all the work. With me is my student Pierre, who is a rising junior at Roosevelt
Yes.
here. I saw a bunch of students introduce themselves as rising next.
That's interesting, but yeah.
You haven't actually started your junior year yet, but you're a rising junior.
Yeah, makes sense.
I thought today we'd start off with some news. First of all, since we're kind of deep into the biology aspect, we have my main biology problems website. I guess maybe let me zoom out a bit so I can see the menu here. And we Pierre has added some new features to it, so I'm gonna stop our nice intro music and show off some of Pierre's features. What subject should we work on? Laboratory usually involves calculations. Let's do manipulation. All right. Which one of the following DNA fragments would be closest to the wells during a DNA agarose gel electrophoresis? And the answer is the largest one. And this is the addition that Pierre's made. When I click check answer, it plays music. I saw a row of stars there. I don't know.
Yeah, the stars were even an addition of mine.
And then you can, and it saves it here to the number of questions. So I don't know if there's a magical bonus when you complete all 271 questions, but that'd be a lot of effort. maybe by topic. And then it's similar questions in the ranking. The second thing is that this week, the Anthropic has released their new model of Claude, called Fable, which is supposed to be able to run for a long time. It has the 1 million context window as before. One thing though is it does not allow you to work on cybersecurity, biology problems, and I forget the other thing. So you can ask how many legs does a spider have? Do you know? If you know at home, don't answer, cat. No, I'm just kidding. And we'll see if it answers it for us. Sure is thinking a long time. Okay, so that is a platypus a mammal or a reptile? Why? So let's see if it does this. I don't know how much it needs to think on this one compared to the other. See, the model has safety measures that flag something in this session. And so it kicked us out of Fable, and now we are working with Opus because you are not allowed to ask it biology questions. Which is maybe a little bit over specified. Now you can just quickly jump back into Fable. But then, if we just did that DNA fragment size, I can ask it that, and I guarantee it'll kick us out again because it involves DNA. See. So it makes it very frustrating for us biology workers. I forget the exact wording. It did say molecular biology and chemistry. I'm looking it up in the other window. Oh, okay. I mean, their claim is when they came out with Mythos here, is novel hypotheses is our first model to consistently produce novel, compelling scientific hypotheses Mythos molecular biology about this age have advanced several experimental evaluation. I guess they're worried that we are going to like be creating super viruses or something. Let's see. And Blue Sky messaged another professor about this, so maybe I can find it there. Yeah. So basically, to flip back to the other window, it's saying something like Claude Fable runs automated safety checks on every user request. These checks are intended to block requests of three areas: offensive cybersecurity techniques, biology, and life sciences queries, such as lab methods or molecular mechanisms. So, and there's a third one, which I forgot, but because I was putting this on Blue Sky, I have a character limit that is pretty small. So if I move it back to Fable and I ask it to just read the repo rules for my session, is it gonna work? I don't know. I mean, one of the things I like to do now is like play around with the color. Let's make it red. Let's give it a name. BP test. Um, so it read that. So these are all fine. I'm wondering if he's gonna break when it has to review the change log. Okay, so now I can say, what is this repo? And I'm hoping that like that will flag the
Or you got kicked
biology
out
user.
at the beginning.
Oh, I got kicked out at the
You already
beginning.
know. Yeah, yeah. Right at the beginning. When was it?
Oh, yep, here it is.
Once you asked, yeah.
So which listing the files kicked me out, huh?
Hmm.
Got it. Yes. Extraction of models, summarized thinking. That was the third one. I was like, a narrow set of frontier development tests is distributed training. So they added a fourth one. But yeah, so you're not allowed to do anything related to biology or life sciences. I guess it doesn't say anything about chemistry. So can I ask it about the formula to make napalm? It doesn't appear to be out of the line.
You could try that
Biotech
out.
business documentation. What happens after a block? You can switch back. Um, you can manage automatic model switching. That just tells you, do I switch from Fable to something else? But anyway, so I do find it's I don't know. I was a little I mean, a lot of people on the internet have been disappointed with Opus 4.8, which also came out. They seem to like 4.7 better. They feel like what I'm hearing is that 4.8 kind of apologizes too much. I don't know. Opus 4.8 too much. I don't know. Oops, okay, I spelled too muke. Um, why Opus 4.8 feels disappointing and how to fix it in 5 minutes. Great. Um, I never really fully understood the effort thing. I tend to just put mine on low. I feel like it just kind of like maybe this is your interpretation, Pierre. I don't know, but I feel like effort just makes it go when it makes an output, it makes it double check its output again, and so it just
Yeah.
kind of circles around. I think it's a little bit more detailed than that. I don't think it actually. If you think of these
I
large
think,
language models as like neural networks that with deep layers, it doesn't actually go from layer 1 to layer 10. It would cycle between like layers 3 to 7 or something like that. But
oh, I see.
what were you saying, Pierre? Or
No, yeah, yeah. I was just agreeing with you.
yeah, so I don't feel like I necessarily get um more I guess I don't feel like I get better results when the effort is higher because it just double checking itself doesn't seem to be that much better, but I don't know. I do tend to switch it to high when I do have harder problems to work on. So, but I don't know. I mean, this thing seems to do correlate effort with the amount of content it needs to look at, but I don't feel like that's the case for me. I don't know. So I know it is Stump the Vibe Coder, but we did talk beforehand about what we are going to work on today. And I was thinking, should I introduce us to slides? Oops. And I've kind of gotten into using this SolidJS. Have you heard of this before, Pierre?
No.
It's kind of more niche, but it's kind of like React JS, which is a little bit more popular.
Okay.
Um, but I started using this for the lab thing. Um, Frankly, all this the hype speak here makes me feel less confident about what this even does. Um, uh, but they do have videos, which is not really what we can do on a podcast. But it's kind of like it allows you to kind of build an interface a little bit quicker. It's a little bit more customizable than say React, which my understanding kind of forces you into a kind of a certain template. So that's why maybe um, it is a little bit less. How do I do preview? Is there a button that says send it over? All right, to hit or output. Anyway, I guess it's kind of an idea to, you know, simplify your code, make the buttons a little bit more consistent, etc. For our website here, we use MK Docs material, which kind of handles things a little bit differently because it's more of a static thing. This would be more of a JavaScript type build. And I was hoping to kind of use this for making flow charts. And in one of my classes, why don't I just pull up the system I use? Is it not the Word version? Sorry, this is not the best way to do a podcast, I would say. But one of the first days of class, first week of class, I talk about using concept maps, which is kind of like a specialized version of flowcharts. And I find that um, a lot of the online software for making flowcharts is not ideal because we have a circle that contains a concept. Each connection is has a direction, not a line, and then each one connects. So I want to be careful about using other people's artworks, but concept maps organize ideas to promote understanding, right? I'm connecting concept maps, ideas, and understandings with arrows with words next to them. So I kind of wanted to build a tool that would allow us to do that in the web browser. So should we allow, so should this be like Apple has this free form, which it'd be great if all my students had the same type of computer, but they don't. Um, they have, I have to deal with Windows and Chromebooks and Macs. Um, but it's kind of it's a nice tool. You put in your shapes, and then I think it has arrows to connect them, and you can just it'd be nice if they had like connection points or something like that. And then labeling, I think if I click here, can I do concept maps? Yeah, but there's really no good way to label an arrow. Um, I would have to make my own text box and drag it there. Um, Organize. So, but it's not too bad. The idea is though, if I want to add a new thing in there, it's not mostly straightforward. So I don't know. What do you think, Pierre? Should it be more graphical design?
Yeah, I
Or
think
should
something
we
more.
or should we have more like a mini spreadsheet on the side that you can kind of like connect words together and then it generates the map?
Oh, that's actually a great idea. I think the connection would be better because
So
we're trying to
I
make it
know
easier, right?
you and I have mathematical minds. Would that
Hmm.
make sense to a life science student? Being able to
I
connect
guess
thing
it,
together.
it would be because I mean, in life sciences, when you do a flow chart or
Hmm.
a map like that, you don't need specific forms, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the bubbles will be all the same. So I think that having the concept maps or the words that you need into your bubbles, um, and then having some kind of connection where you choose. which ones to connect to which ones would be
All right.
definitely
Well,
something
let's give that a
that's good.
try then. So let me create a new repository. I'll just call it concept map maker. I know we talked about maybe making this more flowchart general, but let's maybe focus today and we can extend it later.
Mhm.
Um, because it's not going to make you a flowchart for your computer science class.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but that requires a lot more shapes. I think my concept map one maybe is a little bit more um, kind of a smaller
General.
project. So,
Mhm.
all right. So I've created the new project here. So should we use Claude or Codex today? Should we try out the new Fable, even though it might be a little bit slower?
Yeah,
I
let's
guess is
try that.
the yeah. I'm just worried we're not gonna
Oh.
finish.
Mhm.
All right. So I have cloned concept map maker, and I use my standard starter repository, which has lots and lots of files. I think it's like over 100 files. Um, because it has lots of templates based on the type. So it starts off with 131 files. So, but I have a reset repo script, which is going to ask me some questions. What type of project? I think we're going to do this in TypeScript. That SolidJS is TypeScript code, which compiles to JavaScript, which runs in the web browser. And then what license should we use? Are you familiar with all the different license types, Pierre? You
Oh, not
probably
at
haven't
all.
taken.
I
So
only know like
MIT
the.
is probably the most freedom.
Mhm.
Basically, I don't care. Do whatever you want with the code. LGPL means that if you make any improvements to it, I would like to keep it back. I would like to get those back just to my code. GPL is kind of a little bit more sticky. That if I write a program that uses this code, I also have to share the program that I wrote, even though it's just using it as a library.
Oh,
And then
okay.
AGPL is even more sticky in that if I create a website that uses the library, I have to share that code, even though I'm not even like giving the code away. It's just a website because GPL covers giving the code away as like a
Oh,
selling as a software program. But if you have it in a
yeah.
website, you can that's kind of a loophole there. The AGPL covers that loophole.
Mhm.
The Mozilla public license, I'm not as quite familiar with. Apache tends to be a little bit more friendly to universities because it kind of allows them to like revoke control or something like that. I don't like you using it, or I don't know. I
Mhm.
tend to avoid that one. Uh,
Okay, yeah.
I think most people argue that if you're vibe coding, you should always use MIT because the courts have kind of decided. I feel like it's still a little untested that
Mhm.
anything created by a AI is not copyright. So how can
Oh,
you
yeah,
retain
yeah.
the copyright for something that is not copyrightable? Okay, so by summarizing all of this here, it's going to delete all the irrelevant files, as you can see here. Um, and then I can do git push to get rid of all the files. Oh, I guess it does that. And now we're down from 131 to 77 files. Only the ones that are mostly relevant. Um, why did it not? Oh, I didn't commit them. So reset. I should add that to the script, and then I don't need to do this push thing. But yeah, now we're down to the 77 files. Everything's clean. It deleted a bunch of meta things. It deleted all the licenses I'm not using. Um, and things that are part of the template that are just not needed. But it does retain a lot of code. Templates should not be there, so that is broken. Okay, well, it didn't quite work. um, so we'll just deal with that later. All right. There's a lot of tools and stuff that it's supposed to copy over that did not happen. Um, but that is not the focus today. So we are using Claude that I have to spell correctly. And I like to make it read the repo rules we cover this in a previous episode. I have like core principles of like fix the problem, not patch the symptom. You know, do the long term goal rather than like short term hits. How to stay safe. Like don't delete my hard drive, that kind of thing. And so we I want to make a uh web-based app that allows students to create a I gotta put this concept map, and I will copy my concept map requirements here. I was thinking of a spreadsheet like input, right? That generates the concept map in a solid.js framework. And I have a solid.js expert skill. I also have a TypeScript engineer skill. We can load in my UI UX engineer. I mean, at some point it just gets a little ridiculous. Um, make a plan. Do I need to specify anything more? I mean, I could copy an image of the float of the concept map in there. Any thoughts, Pierre? No?
I think you have like every possible detail in there right now.
Yeah, me too. All right. So now it's gonna go off and make a plan, and it's our job as podcasters to fill in the blank space. What color should we use? These are the important things. Let's go with purple. All right. And then I like to rename them so they actually make sense. When I go into Claude Code webpage or the app or something like that. So, see, there's where it ran into not following directions. But we loaded some three different skills here. Um, it's probably got to do some thinking. I'm so annoyed that reset repo didn't work. I mean, it's got like one job to do.
Mhm. I mean, it mostly worked.
Yeah, but the templates didn't go correctly. So,
Yeah.
and who knows what else failed. I guess that's what Fable is good for, like really kind of teasing out bugs like that.
Mhm.
Where Opus can think deeply, but I do find that Fable is, this isn't working how I expect it to work, you know. Yeah, so you can see here it's reading all these templates that are in the wrong place. And it has templates for other repos that should not even be there. Yeah, so how long is it gonna take to make a plan? So play around with concept maps some more. So I mean, one of the things I'll do is I'll have students like um categorize like what does it mean to be alive, you know? All right. I got a phone call and you know my iPhone now like pre-screens callers and it said smell system press 1 to take this call. like what? Smell
What
system?
smell system?
Yeah, I don't know. I probably got it
That's a
wrong.
weird one.
What are the 9 properties of life? So Pierre, I know you're not a biology student, but what do you think?
Nipro.
What does it
Are
mean
we?
to be
I don't
what does it
know.
mean to be alive?
Uh, I don't know. To be honest, having a beating heart,
Use
stuff like
energy.
that.
Well, but
No.
I mean like
Okay.
bacteria is
To the.
alive. Plants are alive, right?
Okay, so you mean in the.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't answer that to be honest. Having yeah energy.
Use energy,
Uh,
reproduce. This is a terrible joke, but one of my professors like to point out that grandmothers are not alive then. Um,
Okay, that's
because after you go through menopause, you can no longer reproduce.
yeah,
That is a terrible sexist joke. So, um,
extreme, but yeah.
there are 9 things, and reproducing is one of them. Alter the environment. Adapt to the environment. See if I can do this. If it's cold outside, you put a jacket on.
Mm.
Bacteria have different ways of handling it. Um, 9 properties of life. Man, there's another one that involves the environment. Sense the environment. I bet you if you ask different, this is based on a textbook. So,
Mhm.
if you ask different things, different the answers would pop out. Let's see what ChatGPT says. Oh, that's right. I forgot about what they're made of. Living things are made up of cells, use energy and matter, maintain stable internal conditions, grow and change over time, response to stimuli, response to the environment, adapt to the environment. That one's things already pass genetic information out to offspring. I think the other one that's missing is are made up of macromolecules. Made of cells, made of macromolecules, uses energy, maintains harmony, grows and develops, responds to stimuli, reproduces, passes genetic. That's the same thing. Um, evolves over generations. Some textbooks combine or rename these, so the exact list can vary. Yeah. So, but that was me stalling. But it looks like Fable has a question for us. Should the concept map get its layout when generated from the spreadsheet input? Auto layout and drag adjust. Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
that's better. Yeah.
Let's make it easier for
What
everyone to
shape
use.
should the spreadsheet input take? Concept maps, ideas, verb phrase two. Yeah. All right. How should students save their work? Import, export, data file. Yeah. Browser, autosave, local storage. That's not too bad. Printer friendly page, so like PDF. Sure. Let's just do them all. I'm sure it's not hard. Building tools. SolidJS needs a compile step, and the repo's kind of ESBuild script doesn't provide. Which path? Are we going to use Vite and Vite plugin, ESBuild? I think ESBuild is what's recommended for um, what I've been doing. So, but like that, yeah. The 3 column spreadsheet is good, but I worry life science. Like this means I just have a low opinion of life sciences, but will have trouble with the to and from aspect. So we need to like color code them or something. Um, because one bubble could have multiple inputs and outputs. Um, yeah. So I want to think about that. So I hit the escape button. So yeah, anything else?
How
Yeah,
did you
it's not really being verbose, which saves me on tokens. So yeah, go ahead, Pierre.
how did you think of what it working with the spreadsheet? Like I can't imagine how you wanted to get the map working in a spreadsheet.
Well, these are I think it's I'm trying to think of a one I'm allowed to share. I don't know. Yeah, so maybe I'll share this one. I apologize for using other people's artwork. Um, so honeybees are socially divided into castes. Castes include workers. Castes include drones. Castes include queen. Right. So this one's
Mhm.
got three outputs,
Yeah.
and the female here has two inputs. So that's the kind of thing
Mhm.
we need to be able to aware of.
Okay.
Example, multi. I'm gonna give for casts and female. So just kind of aware of the type of things that could come up. Um, we should have. I was thinking like, um, we should have themes, um, that students can choose from. Bubble shapes, um, color palettes. I always spell palettes wrong, etc. For palettes, I was thinking like earth or fire theme or something. Um, rounded Rex, sharp Rex, rectangles, uh, ovals. I don't know. I like that. That would apply to all bubbles. Allow them to have special, maybe perhaps, emphasize the origin of bubble if it has one or a few. So like what I mean by origin bubble, since I've already used this example, um, it starts with honeybees, right? So
Mhm.
so that one should probably be emphasized differently than the other ones because it kind of gives you a start because the start isn't always at the top. Like here they're starting in the middle,
Oh, yeah. See.
or in the middle, for example. So yeah, I think that's fair use if I showed it shortly. I don't know.
Mhm.
Apologies. I'm just too late. I mean, now that if I had a tool to make these, it might be easier. So
I
what
think
I do is I
something that
actually give students like a really hard abstract, and I have them make the concept map from that. So
oh, okay, I see. I think something that would be nice to have for it is having it in different layers. For example, the first one has one color, second layer has another
uh
color, and then third
okay,
layer
can we color the bubbles in
by level or
terms
something.
of their distance from the origin bubbles? Maybe we should find an origin bubble has no inputs, only outputs, right? I don't know how far along it's into making the plan, but it hasn't used. Oh yeah, it did say plan. So I guess that's encouraging. Um, I don't I don't think it has a plan written up yet. Nope. So, but once it does, they'll be able to read it. And that's where I get a little. I mean, I do like the Claude interaction, but in terms for podcasting, doesn't get the plan done quickly enough. So, and I should have switched the effort to low. So maybe I'll do that now. I think I have to, yeah, switch to low. Please continue with the plan. Um, I guess continue making the plan. But since it's in plan mode, it should know. Downloading some tokens. Oh, I see this number's actually changing now. I've been playing around. You can customize your footer here. This one tells me what my user is, what machine I'm on, the repo I'm in, what model I'm using, the percent of my context that's filled up. So usually when that gets above 25 to 30, I reset now because with a 1 million context, it takes long. And this used to be stuck at 1 or 2, but now 279 out of a million is not 17%. So I'm not even sure what it's telling me. And this tells me how much of my 7 day plan I've used. Um, so it's kind of nice. And this, I guess, here tells me that the remote control is active, which means I can access this session in the app or from the web. And I have found that very useful because a lot of times I'll start a coding session and you can see it's not very fast. And then I can go to the web or my app on my phone. I don't like, for some reason, I don't like having the app on my computer. I don't know, but you can kind of see um, the interactions here and what it's printed out, which is barely anything. I do have the Caveman plugin installed. Have you? Did I tell you about this, Pierre?
No, what's that?
The Claude Caveman plugin is it's the concept is why use nor man, I thought it had a little tagline here. Why use many tokens when few tokens do the trick, right? This plugin here cuts 65% of the tokens by talking like a caveman. For example, here,
How
normal
well
cloud.
does it
The
work?
reason your React component is rendering is likely because you're creating a new object reference on each render cycle. When you pass the inline of render show caveman, new object each ref render, inline object prop equal new ref equal re-render, wrap in use memo. Um, bug and auth middleware, token expiry. You gotta talk like a caveman when you do it. And it has different levels of caveman, light, full, ultra, Wenyan. And I use light, so to compress
Mhm.
this down a little bit, but and they actually wrote a paper on this brevity
Oh wow.
constraints, rooster. Yeah, so I can't imagine writing a paper with caveman, you here. So, so the idea is it kind of reduces the amount of speaking, and it, it's been pretty popular. It looks like it's mellowed out a little bit. But you install it once and you forget about it, kind of thing. So,
Mhm. Yeah, that's
and
actually pretty good.
good news, our plan is now done. So let's take a look at it. All right, I have a very specific template that I require my Claude planning to follow. And it starts off with a context. Students in life sciences courses must build concept maps. An objective, produce a Rubik compliant concept map entirely in the browser with no install, no account. Direction errors are rare. Work is portable, submittable, so you can take repo gets gate stay green. That's fine. I mean, it just means it passes the checks. Design philosophy. We're using the SolidJS shell. Scope, build the SolidJS app, implement themes, implement exports, stand up building tooling, no test, non goals, build no backend accounts or server storage. Yeah, we don't want to have logins or anything. Implement no undo redo. Well, I mean, we're working in the spreadsheet. So yeah, I don't think we need that in version 1. Support no real-time collaboration or multi-map management. Yeah, we don't yeah, you if you switch from your phone to your web browser, you start fresh. Um, no grading or scoring. Um, I mean, do we need a live rubric checklist? Whatever. It doesn't hurt, I guess. If it's building the concept for you, it would do the rubric. Um, do not pursue mobile touch first UI. Yeah, we don't need touch for dragging things. We have a scab. Yeah, it's complaining that things are in the wrong place. Um, and then it breaks things down into 3 milestones. The first is the skeleton and data core. The second is the editor and the map. And the 3 would be the direction aids, export, and verify. So it's going to finish each milestone, do a check, and then come back. And then for each milestone, it has work streams. These are independent parallel things. I do think our work streams could be divided up a little bit better. So we can look down here, work stream thing. So we just have one coder for each work stream. So that'll be my first pushback on this. Oh, that's the wrong window. Sorry, it's hard to find the right window when you want it. There it is. Okay. Um, I think we can break up the work streams more, and then I'll use parallel plan, which is a skill I usually say you're not working parallel enough. Um, and we'll see if it loads the skill or not. Yeah, so it loaded the parallel plan skill, and it's going to try and break it up. And one of the things I spent a lot of time working on yesterday is a script for an external plan reviewing. Yeah, because I'm less of a programmer now. I'm more of a more of a manager planner. I spent a lot of time making a ChatGPT plan reviewer system, which is ridiculous, but nonetheless, it works here. Um, so I wanted to clearly identify the reviewer's feedback so it knows when I say something versus when the reviewer does. Keep it focused on advice to the manager. Don't write telling the reviewer not to write code or plan. Give them practical advice. If they have any open questions, test the plan itself. Do we have any open questions in our plan? Yes, we had three. Palette ramp length. So it's updating the plan as we speak, but the open questions are at the bottom. Depth, color, cycle, or clamp end levels. The farthest clamp at 6 levels. Yeah, sure. Definitions, linkage should define words, auto highlight, match bubbles out of E1. Unless, yeah, I think that's a correct thing. So, but one of the things is the external reviewer is responsible for answering those questions. Test the plan against itself. Understand the plan. Separate. I went overboard on this. Uh, because what happens is when you use this once and then over again and then over again, you find things to add. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Where it's become quite long, but um, it works for me. So I just copy and paste this reviewer code into ChatGPT. And then when the plan is updated, I will copy the plan and put it in there. And then the reviewer will write a long review, which I then copy and paste back into Claude. And I'll probably do this like 6 or 7 times. So it's ready to code. Um, it looks like, okay, so there's the tooling is one patch. So now it has multiple coders for each work stream. So, which is good. So anyway, so now I'm going to copy our updated plan and put it into ChatGPT, which usually works fairly quick, even though I have thinking mode on, because it doesn't need to like search the web or anything. So below is the LLM reviewer feedback. So what is it complaining? The first major issue is the claim that work packages are file disjoint. The claim does not hold. Mixes locked user decisions, implementation choices. Third major issue is one document per browser file conflicts with the autosave local storage. Yeah, we don't want one document. Validation. Fifth, blah, blah, blah. Some work packages need clear success conditions. So anyway, it goes into a long thing that I can literally just copy and paste, and then Claude will say, "Oh, these are really good reviewers." Oftentimes because it loves to be sycophantic. So I just directly copy the ChatGPT message into the thing, and there's usually two things I like to emphasize from my plan, and I find it really helps. One is prioritize positive prompting. So it's to use instructions, do X, use Y. A lot of times these LLMs will like to say, do not do W. You are not allowed to do Z. And then what does the LLM do? It does W and Z because it just flips it, right? So I always try and force the plan to contain that. And then the second one is wall time. Be efficient with time, subunit, subject. See, so I'm just gonna review these, and I'm gonna put this. I put those two into ChatGPT in more detail. Um, I mean, I think I need to have the reviewer like literally like do each one of my paragraphs. So it says instead of saying no backbone, say store work and local storage. So efficiency and time with para text, blah blah blah. So it's probably telling it to do too much specifics, which I probably should have added the um uh don't make the plan. Just give them advice. But nonetheless, I'll just copy and paste it over. So but yeah, I mean, so wow, this review is incredibly long. It says both positive and negative version, but the positive version should be the operative instructor. Never draw drag overrides. It's understandable to a human, but a coding station would. So anyway, so it is actively updating the plan, which is always very exciting podcasting minutes. So looks like we have people come in and stay for about 45 seconds, Pierre. So that's about how entertaining our podcast is. Um, but you can see is updating the plan. It's splitting work stream P-D2B. My gosh, the names we have for these things. Our work packages. Got it. If we look at the kind of active plan. Um, so we have milestones, right? I covered those earlier. Each milestone is connected to a work stream, and then I guess each work stream is connected to a work package. So work stream A. So here's our work streams. Now here's the work stream package, which I guess launches in waves. I don't think that was part of my template. Maybe it is. I should look back at my template. But now we have work packages that are connected to work streams. Whatever, as long as it's all connected in some way. So, um, I don't know. It's like Claude or Fable here tends to. I mean, I guess Opus did this, but I feel like Fable does this more. But it updates the plan, splitting the thing, updates the plan, updates the plan, updates the plan. If I had Caveman turned off, it might be printing this up, but that would also increase my usage rate here too. And also using Fable uses twice the tokens of Opus, so my usage will fill up twice as fast. So la la la. I mean, I guess if we just kind of fast forwarded through this in the video, it might be more entertaining wise. But it does kind of give you a reality of how long it can take Claude to update a plan. So, but we've asked Claude to build a concept map generator using SolidJS framework. So that's kind of all covered in our plan here. So students produce a concept map, and thing is, this is a nice little feature of Kate, which I used. So you're saying you use a VS Code for your
Yes.
editing, Pierre?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I use Kate, which is part of KDE Linux systems.
Mhm.
There's a feature where you can have it actually put the color next to it whenever you type in a color. So if
Yeah.
I type in cyan, it colors it cyan.
Oh,
If I type in
nice.
red, yeah, um, no use beyond that, but I don't know. I find it's good if you're talking about colors. Um, yeah, so it's going to do the whole thing in 3 milestones. Oh, it says the plan is done. So I'm gonna run it through ChatGPT one more time. So again, I don't think I need to copy all the guidance. So I'm gonna say review the revised plan. And then I copy and paste the plan in. And it only needs, it usually thinks less than 30 seconds. So they think it's good to LLM reviewer feedback. It's a little waste of time, but it's clear then when I say something versus when this thing says something, because a lot of times I get into arguments with it. Um, wow, look at all this stuff it's harassing the the planner with. The biggest remaining issue is the internal contradiction in the export pipeline. The second issue is the phrase no backend web app. The third issue is the package count is now inconsistent. The fourth issue is that image export depends on C2A, so we're fine. Fifth issue is definitions validation. Um, Sixth issue is 30 bubble requirement. 30 bubbles and 30 concepts, they are connected. The seventh issue is CSV round trip and language. Eighth issue is generated stress 80 nodes fixture. I hate fixtures. I usually tell it not to. Playwright timing. Playwright's used for capturing screenshots of websites. 10th issue is local storage failure handling. Fine. 11th issue is accessibility beyond color. 12th issue is keyboard blur behavior. Sure. I feel like we're getting a little too much bike shedding. And
Yeah.
uh, I was talking to Pierre earlier about bike shedding for those that aren't um, familiar. Let's go to Wikipedia. Oh, I guess my DuckDuckGo summary is better. Bike shedding refers to the tendency of people to spend excessive time discussing trivial issues while neglecting more important ones, often illustrated by the example of a committee focusing on the details of a bike shed rather than a complex project like a nuclear power plant. It's also known as Parkinson's law of triviality. Um, so the law has been applied to software development. Um, BSD popularized it, but where's the nuclear power plant thing coming? I guess it provides an example of a fictional committee whose job was to approve plans for a nuclear power plant, spending the majority of the time in discussions on the relative minor but easy to grasp issues such as what materials to use for the staff bicycle shed, while neglecting the proposed design of the plan itself. And that is one of the things I have in my external thing, but it feels like it's maybe getting a little too overly long. So it's easy. Focus on important issues. Make sure we're worrying about the correct things, not bike shedding. So either way, I've already passed the information on to the planner, so it's updating the plan. Good, we're done. So now I'm going to manually approve edits, switch to accept edits. And I always say implement the plan, and then I use my skill delegate manager to sub agents. Because sometimes they'll go, okay, plan's approved, and they'll just sit there for an hour waiting for me to say implement the plan. I'm like, didn't I just do that? um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, GitHub pages publishing would be nice. We will do it after the web page works. So yeah. Um, all right, we've already reached the 11 o'clock point. And my guess is it's going to take over an hour for it to finish implementing the entire app. Um, no matter how efficient we try and make it, Codex would have been done an hour ago. No, um, but Codex does use more tokens more quickly, so I guess, and maybe
Yeah.
the quality wouldn't have been as nice. I do like the back and forth that Claude gives me, which is a little bit harder to do with Codex because Codex it has a plan mode, but it's not necessarily designed around plan making. It's kind of more just a doer. In my experience, maybe is not ideal because I probably do most of my time in Claude, but yeah, it looks like it's just reading stuff. So, which is fine. I have regular coders and expert coders. So regular coders use the sonnet, which is 2 levels down. So with Claude, it goes haiku, sonnet, opus, and now Fable. So I have coders that use sonnet, and I have expert coders that use opus. I used to use coders for the haiku level, and it just got really bad results. So I know it uses a lot less tokens that way. But the way Claude breaks up your usage, the sonnet stuff doesn't count against my total here. So it's nice to have a Fable manager telling Sonnet coders what to do, and it really extends out my usage plan for the week. So, all right. Anything else you want to say, Pierre?
No, I'm waiting on the plan on the
The implementation that is not
on
going
the
to happen.
implementation. Yeah, no,
So
that's
anyway,
definitely.
I'm going to play our outro theme here. Thanks for joining us. I do hope, if you are watching these videos, we'd love to hear from you. We're just kind of making them for fun right now. But any kind of feedback or, hey, this is cool. Do more of this. Love to hear it. And we'll catch you next week. So. I wasn't ready to stop it there. All right.